like to start with a showing of solidarity.
If you ask the majority of people of color, as well as the majority of police officers, they would describe their relationship as, in worst case, one of war, where there is no listening, there is no understanding, there's no appreciating of each other's experience.
Another cop puts his gun to the back of my head and says,
Yeah, take a breath.
"Move 1 inch and I'll blow your fucking head off."
So Evolve takes the nuance, the conflict between two sides, and puts that on stage.
There's just huge distrust. We don't feel like we're being served and protected. We feel like we're being policed. The fear that we have is a real and genuine, and oftentimes that's really more so dismissed, and it's difficult trying to be seen.
The hardest part about being a police officer is to have people not see your humanity, your personhood. People getting in my face telling me that somehow I was evil, that I was racist. It just keeps us in our corners, and we come out fighting, and then we go back to our corners, and we don't grow, and we don't make relationships.
I don't believe that within the policing community we have handled the conversation of bias and racism, prejudice very well. Having a program like Evolve in front of these senior law enforcement leaders is critical, because I know they're all struggling with this same issue, is, how do we bridge this gap, this, continuing eroding trust that's happening. The reality is these challenges are only going to increase. We need to do something different.
I got reasonable suspicion.
What you are about to hear will not be pleasant for your ears.
So guns. Here's what I know about them. They don't solve many problems. Mostly, they make shit worse. Think of this as a PSA.
Oh, I was brought to tears several times. The longer the performance went on, the harder the stories got to take.
Suddenly, I see flashing lights behind me, the quick shrill of a siren. The officer gets out.
When that African-American woman police officer who's pulled over, that one just infuriated me.
He grips his gun. "Tell me your fucking badge number, and if I find out you're lying, I'm gonna beat the black right off you."
I was so angry with that cop and how he treated her, and that felt so real.
Anytime I see that uniform, I think about all the times those bastards have harassed me ever since I was 14 years old.
I immediately began to really think back to my own experiences of being afraid that I was gonna die.
Listen to me, bro. If you drop your hands while I remove this gun, I'm gonna shoot you in the face. I didn't want to shoot this baby. But I know this baby was on his way to kill somebody else's baby. I'm a social worker, psychologist, paramedic, referee, public relations representative, judge, jury, and sometimes, tragically, executioner.
You call me for something and I bring a gun.
Could you solve this by pushing yourself to be a little bit less comfortable?
Hands up.
Don't shoot.
Hands up.
Don't shoot.
Hands up.
Don't shoot.
Hands
up. Don't shoot. Well, I have to tell you, as a white woman, I've never had the experience in my life of saying don't shoot 15 times. It touches you at a level that you may have never experienced.
No one can do it. No human could keep his or her hands up forever.
I don't think I'm stopping him because he's black, but I do think I'm stopping him because he fits the description.
My life is valuable. And I shouldn't have to keep my hands held high to prove it. And keeping our hands held high hasn't gotten us treated the way human beings should be treated, so how do I feel? Fuck you is how I feel.
But I'm not supposed to get frustrated. You know, I'm not supposed to get angry.
An entire group of people in our country have been harmed by other people in our country. And often that harm has come at the hands of police. And this performance helps us call that out and see it and figure out how to keep talking through it.
We would love to just bring some of what you talked about with one another and what you discovered in your own reflections back into the room. So it'd be good to just get some reactions.
After every show, it's important for us to take the time to give the audience an opportunity to share their experience.
I come here in some ways to relieve some rage. I saw a little bit of understanding how police officers struggle with decisions they may have to make, and sometimes often being seen as less than human. I also saw the pain of Black people and not even being recognized as pain.
Today, you had some of the most powerful leaders in the state of Oregon in the room. This is not like a training facility. People let their guard down when they come in.
All I could think about was, I wish I had seen this many years ago. It gave me a whole new insight into the thinking of police officers. I want every criminal defense lawyer to see this. People who are in prison should see it. I think judges should see it. I think prosecutors will benefit.
This kind of theater goes in under the radar. It allows these kinds of feelings to go both ways, and that's what's different.
It's challenging people who are in actual positions of power, who can actually start making change. That's been revolutionizing for me.
The fact that you've taken time out to come, to try to educate yourselves and to listen and to be mindful, there's no way you're going to be able to go back to your bubble. No way.
It did change my way of thinking. And my mind doesn't change that often.
Was getting to a point where I was angry and I was tired of being targeted and I was tired about people yelling at me, and I was just to the point where I was done listening. Somehow this show made it so I'm ready to listen again.
When we come to Evolve and we witness these stories on stage, we are seeing ourselves reflected. This show gives us a common ground to stand on. This process works. Over the past 3 years, we've honed Evolve into a powerful and proven product, a way to generate compassion and empathy even in the midst of profound disagreement. Now, it's time to take Evolve further, to bring this work to every city, community, law enforcement, and every criminal justice agency in America. And to do that, we need major support now. Your support. Please donate, and let's evolve together.